All right, welcome back. Looking very pretty in polka dots. We've got Chris McCusker standing by at the 680 Business Center. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning. Thank you for the compliment. You're lovely.
Very, very nice.
You are a lovely human being. Thank you for that.
Some days it depends. Today's Wednesday, so we are good.
Wednesday's good.
Yeah. Chris, forget about Wonderland. This is a roller coaster when it comes to the markets, up, down, all around.
Yes, and as it stands right now, Mel, it looks like we're going to see a second day of gains on Bay and Wall Street after those gains yesterday. Which came on the heels of that sell-off that we saw on Monday. And basically, there's a sort of battle going on between, sort of hope and optimism for the global economic recovery, contrasted by these very valid concerns about the Delta variant, prompting an increase in COVID cases in parts of the world. And just to illustrate that, the UK Prime Minister lifted all COVID-19 restrictions while he himself was in quarantine. So that sort of tells you something right there. And then you add on top of that, it's summer, so volume's a little lighter than normal, so things may be somewhat magnified. Having said that, Bay Street up by 14.3% so far this year. It is in second spot behind the S&P 500, which is up by 15.1%. For quite a bit of this year, Bay Street was leading the way. There's been a switch in the last couple of days.
Aha. Okay, Chris, are you a big binge watcher? Are you a big Netflix fan?
I am, yes. What about you?
Yeah, I watch everything, and it's sad. It's horrible, but keeping track of which platforms I have, and maybe that's the issue because there's so much availability and access for people that Netflix seeing a little bit of suffering here.
Yeah, and it's got competition, let's face it, too. For a long time, it was the only game in town, and now not so much. So we did get earnings in from Netflix, and overall the picture was mixed. For the most part, the report did beat expectations, but this was the worst quarter ever for the streaming service when it comes to new subscribers, Mel. In the second quarter, just 1.54 million net new paid subscribers. And even more noteworthy here, the subscriber total in the U.S. and Canada declined for only the second time since the company began reporting those figures. Then, when you compare this time this year to this time last year, when Netflix added 10 million net new subscribers, the numbers look even worse. Executives also predicting the current quarter will have fewer additions than Wall Street expects. Now, having said all of that, Netflix stock in pre-market trade, little changed. We also learned this week they're adding video games, so maybe trying to get customers in a different way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And also you're noticing what's available, right? Content-wise, what's new. People are always looking for what's new because they've watched everything else.
I know, yeah. We've all seen Tiger King already, right?
I feel like that felt like that was 3 years ago, but really that was just the beginning of the pandemic, right?
I know.
History ago.
I know.
Finally, for you, we are looking ahead to the opening ceremonies. We are 2 days away. A lot of speculation here. Are the games still going to be a go? We'll talk about that in a sec. But when it comes to the sponsors, what are they saying?
Well, we did hear from Toyota earlier this week. And remember, this is a Japanese automaker. And Toyota is not going to run ads during the games in Japan. Interesting. As well, the Toyota CEO is not going to the opening ceremony. Toyota is one of the major sponsors for the games. Now, today we are learning other sponsors like Panasonic and NEC will also skip the opening ceremony. Advertisers maybe seem to be distancing themselves from these games. Concern, of course, has been growing about COVID cases, including some with the athletes themselves. 79 or so cases now linked to the games. There was also this suggestion yesterday that the games could be canceled at the last minute, which came to the surprise of many because we had heard from the IOC president, Thomas Bach, that that wasn't going to happen. So a lot still up in the air, Mel, and you also reported the WHO is supporting the idea of the games, so kind of all over the map. And as you mentioned, just 2 days to go before they officially get going.
What a mess, Chris. Let's call it.
Well,
it's a mess.
I'm glad I'm not an athlete. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, yeah. All right, Chris. As always, nice to see you. Oh, you're not joining us again.
No.
Mike Apple's back tomorrow.
You get Mike Apple back tomorrow. Yes, he'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I'm sure.
As always, a pleasure. We'll talk to you again sometime soon.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you. All right, we are sitting at 619 right now, and the pressure is on to get more people vaccinated here in the province of Ontario ahead of September's school start. So we're going to break down all those numbers for you. That is coming up right after the break.